Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Stamp and Chat Live. I'm Gina from Gina K Designs, and it's great to see all of you coming in from around the world. Tonight, we are going to have a little bit of fun. I'm going to take it easy tonight. We're going to make a very peaceful card. We're going to use a couple of different techniques. Actually, I'm going to do 3 different techniques in this card, but this is one that's going to be relaxing to do. So, if you are crafting along with me, just find either a snowflake set or a floral set that works for you, and we're going to make a nice background design using a little bit of masking magic and some embossing powder. But before we get started, let's say hello to Tom. Hey, Tom.
Just taking it easy with Gina K.
How are you doing?
I'm better than horrible, yes.
Oh, I see your set back there is a little bit different.
Yes. Chuck had a visit package from Chuck.
Chuck
right?
Meadows, yeah.
Got a Tom's Word of the Day plaque for the back wall. Many thanks to Chuck for spicing up. And we've got a bright space.
The bright space.
The bright space.
I'm in the bright space, and Tom
is in the dead space. Doing my best to fill out the dead space.
You do a great job, and it's really fun to be in the bright space. So thank you, Chuck. We really
Awesome,
enjoyed
Chuck.
these. That was a great Christmas present, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's always so much fun.
And he's here tonight, I think. So.
Oh, awesome. All right. Well, Chuck, we love our gifts, and we appreciate it. We hope all of you had a great Christmas. Anybody who was celebrating, we hope it was a great Christmas for you. I have to show you a really cute little Christmas present that my friend Karina Strack gave me. She's like my niece now, right, Tom?
I think so.
So she got this apron, and she embroidered this, and I was kind of wearing it. I didn't want to get grease on it, but it's for cooking. And I love it because she embroidered it, and it says, "Get out of my way." And that is totally me in the kitchen. Get out of my way. Isn't that cute?
And I got one too.
Oh, you did?
Yes, I did. It says, "Get out of her way." They're matching set.
Get out of her way.
And that about says it, right?
It does. We love that. So Karina, if you're watching, thank you so much. We love these. And the other really nice, we got a lot of very nice presents from everybody, and we appreciate it. Our daughters kind of outdid themselves this year. They bought us one for my birthday and one for Tom's birthday. We are going to see one of my favorite comedians for my birthday. They got us tickets to see Nate Bargatze, right? Isn't that how you say his name? Bargatze?
That's it.
Yep. And then for Tom's birthday, they got us 2 tickets to go see Kansas. So Rena got us the comedy, and Alicia got us the Kansas tickets. So we're going to have some fun going to see some shows.
Oh,
so,
wow. Stepping out. Yep.
It was a great Christmas. I hope you guys got what you wanted for Christmas, and if not, it's never too late to treat yourself to something, right?
That's right.
And also, before we get started, I want to do a special shout out tonight. So my friend Julie reached out to me, and told me that her mom, Donna Blasak, from Northville, Michigan, watches us every Tuesday and Thursday, and she's a brand new card maker. So Donna, I wanted to wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and thank you so much for tuning in and watching Gina K Designs and Stamp and Chat Live. And I hope you're learning a lot here as a new card maker. So that is so exciting. So I wanted to do that shout out. Oh, I see people got Intracut machines and oh goodness, all kinds of fun things. That's awesome. Well, I am so glad that a lot of you got what you wanted, and if you didn't, maybe you got a gift card that you want to use, or maybe you're treating yourself to something special. So I hope so. All right, well, tonight I was going to use this stamp set. I was going to use the Snow Much Love. Ooh, I'm pretty zoomed in here. The Snow Much Love stamp set. Now, if you don't have this one, we've got other snowflake stamp sets. You can also use a floral. But I thought it would be fun to do something really fun and peaceful. Play with a little bit of masking magic, a little bit of heat embossing, and a little bit of colored pencils and Gamsol. And we'll just do a nice, peaceful background. It seems much quieter than usual. I don't know, we've already got 2,400 people here. That's pretty good for the first 5 minutes. I don't think it's quieter than usual. You have to remember, wherever you're watching from, you can go to the front shot, Tom. Wherever you're watching from, we're streaming to 4 different locations at once. So if you're watching on our Facebook group, people are also watching on our Facebook page. They're also coming in watching from Twitch, and then we have a large amount of people that are watching from YouTube. So yeah, so we do have a lot of people here, and it is the day after Christmas, so I bet a lot of people are still traveling too. But it is great to see all of you. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, so we're going to start with a piece of white cardstock for this technique. And I've got a 1/4 sheet here, and what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to cut this out using Master Layouts 2. So I'll grab the 2 dies from Master Layouts 2. I'm going to do a little bit of die cutting tonight because I'm going to be cutting out the greeting tonight for my card. So let's see, the volume's low, is that right? I don't know why the volume would be low. Tom, you want to check that? Does that look normal?
Looks normal.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure. Make sure that you have your device or wherever you're watching from all the way up, and hopefully that will help. Okay, so I'm going to be using the stitched die here on this piece of white cardstock, and then I'm actually going to flip it over, and I'm going to just tilt it a little bit here, and then I'm going to use my top plate, and I'm going to run it through my Intracut die cutting machine. Now, I better have made sure that I switched it from embossing to die cutting, because I was embossing with Jennifer McGuire in my last video, but that looks just fine in that cutout. Just beautifully right there. Okay, so now I am going to, while I'm here and while I have this here, I'm going to cut out a black piece, and I'm going to cut that out using the plain die. Okay, yep, that'll work. And we're going to cut that one out too. That will be my layer. Your volume is up. I'm trying to read your comments here, but lower than usual? Well, I'll tell you, I am not exactly sure. We'll turn ours up a little bit, and hopefully that helps. Is that a little bit better for you? Okay. Was I using the top plate at the top instead of on the platform? So what I was doing here, I put the platform down, and then I put my die down, and then I put my paper on top. My blade is blade side up, so I was cutting into the cutting mat. Okay, I'm not sure why it's lower, guys. It may have something to do with the fact that we're broadcasting in stereo now. So, I don't know. We'll have to play with it a little bit, and we'll boost it up as much as we can for you tonight. It seemed okay in our test today, so I'm not sure. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece of cardstock, and I'm going to use some Masking Magic strips. So Masking Magic strips, if you're new to Masking Magic, it comes in a pack with 3 different size strips. We have these 1/16 of an inch strips, I'm sorry, we have these 1/8 of an inch strips, we have these 1/4 of an inch strips, and then we also have 1/2 inch strips. And you see me use the 1/2 inch ones a lot when I'm using them to tack down dies because they don't hurt the paper at all. Now you'll notice on the back of the different sizes, they're different colors. So the 1/2 inch ones are in green, the 1/4 inch ones are in red, and then those 1/8 inch ones are in blue. Now I'm going to start with some of the 1/4 inch ones, and I'm going to just tape around the perimeter here just to make a nice little faux layer. Basically, I'm doing a border around the outside like that. And then I have this just on a piece of cardstock so I can flip it around and make it easier to see. Oh good, I'm glad everybody's saying that the sound is up and it's working well for them, so that's good. Tom did play a little bit with the dial, so hopefully we got it nice and loud for all of you. Okay, so I'm putting these all along the perimeter, and I'm making sure that I go all the way to the edge because I'm going to do some ink blending here, and I am going to want to protect the edges of this card, because I'm creating a nice white border around the perimeter. Okay, and we're going to do one here too. Now these Masking Magic strips are reusable, but not forever. And I would recommend, if you're going to reuse them, that you use the same colors that you used the first time around, because with dye ink, you can kind of reactivate that ink a little bit. And if you do that, you want to make sure that you are, you're not going to be smearing some purple ink into some yellow if you do a different color combination the second time around, if that makes sense. Then I'm going to be using this Embossing Magic Pad, and I'm going to rub this all over the surface here because I'm going to do some heat embossing. Welcome everyone, it is great to see you all. Okay, now I'm going to be using the Snow Much Love stamp set. And I don't know if you guys remember, but when we released this, I said this is a great stamp set for all winter long. It's not a Christmas set. I mean, it does have one holiday wishes in here, but everything else has nothing to do with the holidays. I have So Much Love for You. That would be very cute for Valentine's Day. You warm my heart. Miss you so much. Hello, sweet friend. Warm birthday wishes, and sending you warm winter hugs. So this is more for making cards throughout the winter season. Like for me, for example, my birthday's in February. So I would love a card that has snowflakes on it with something like warm birthday wishes. So when we designed this one, we designed it to be a winter set and not so much a Christmas set. Okay, so I am going to use this stamp, starting with this one right here. Okay, and then I am going to use some Embossing and Watermark ink. Welcome everyone, I see lots of you still coming in, and it is great to see you. Okay, all right, so I really want to ink this up well because I am going to stamp with a block and not a MISTI, and I want to make sure that I get it exactly where I want it. Now I also have a container of fine detail white powder, and I am going to use this every single time I stamp. I'm not going to stamp all over this white cardstock and then put the powder on all at once. And the reason is because, especially when you're stamping on white, it's not bad when you're stamping on color because it leaves a watermark behind and you can see it, but on white you can't see it at all. So I'm going to be doing one at a time. I can definitely see the powder. Okay, so we'll start here in the middle with just a big snowflake right in the middle. Okay, and then I am going to take that embossing powder and I'm going to sprinkle it on there. Now, I know it's going to be hard for you to see it, but I think you can see it when I tilt it this way. You can see the embossing powder on there. Well, that's easy for me to see in real life. It does get a little washed out here. I think you can still see it though, can't you? I see it in my screen.
Yes.
Can you see the powder there? Well, that really helps me stamp this a little bit better. Okay, so I'm going to take this stamp off. I might go back to it again, but we'll see. I think for my next one, I'm going to use this one here. So I'll get this onto my acrylic block. I know I'm really close up now. You can see it just a bit. Yeah, if your screen is really bright, you might not be able to see it as well too. You know, we've got cameras that have to be adjusted. Then our monitors are probably different than your monitors, and you might have yours a little bit brighter, but you'll be able to see it at the end, I promise. So just hang in with me for this part. Now I'm going to do one over here like this. And I am putting a little extra pressure because I want it to sink down a little bit into, you know, I want it to go all the way to the edge. All right, so I've got one there, and now I'm going to do one up in this corner. Same stamp. But I don't know if you've ever done this kind of embossing before, and then you put your powder on and you're like, oh, darn it, I overlapped on a bunch of things that I didn't want to overlap. If you put that powder on after each time you stamp, number one, you don't have to worry that anything's going to dry out by the time you get done. You can take your time. And then also, you're going to clearly be able to see exactly where you stamped the last one. Okay, so I've got those there. Now let's use a different stamp for these corners. I want to do something that I can color in a little bit. This one I probably could get some color on. You can color all of them actually, but let's do this one because this one's a little bit different. These are very rounded and this one is a little bit more pointy, and it'll be nice to have the contrast in there. Welcome everyone and happy holidays. I hope you all had a Merry Christmas. It is really great to see you. Okay, so I'm just being careful not to squish anything, but I'm going to do this one here. There. And we will add the powder. Yeah, it's kind of nice to have this all just tacked down on this board. It's not a board, it's a piece of craft cardstock, but you know what I mean. Then I can just pick the whole thing up and dust it right back into the bowl of powder. All right, and the last one is going to go here of the big ones. And then I'm just going to fill in these two little sides with some small ones. Okay. Make sure we tape that back down.
So I told you about my Uncle Mel, didn't I?
Your Uncle Mel?
My uncle who worked at the Philadelphia Mint.
Oh, I believe you told me something about him.
Yeah, he got fired, and it's because he didn't make sense. Remember that?
Yes, I do remember.
But I forgot to tell you, it wasn't the only reason he got fired.
Why else did he get fired?
Well, he...
People are going groan. I'm using a little stamp right now to fill in these two areas. All right, on with Uncle Mel.
Yeah, he had a problem dealing with change, too. It wasn't...
Oh, my God, Tom. You know, I love when he disappears back into the dead space. Oh, boy. Very good. Okay, so now I've got one there, and then I'm going to finish off this other side with one of those same snowflakes. Should I use the same one? No, I'm going to use a different one. I'm going to go for it. I think I'm going to use... I'll use this one. That was very funny. Okay. These are brand new. A lot of these are brand new, so I'm really taking my time to do extra inking. Very good, Annette. I like it. Oh my gosh, Annette, we should just get you on here and you can do the next live with Tom. That's awesome. Okay, well now I've got all my snowflakes on here, and I am going to let me close up my powder. I'm going to go ahead and use my heat tool. I'm going to keep everything taped down here, and I'm going to emboss this. I'm not pulling these sides off. I need these to be on here. And when I emboss this, I'm going to make sure that I also emboss anything that is on the Masking Magic as well, okay? Because we don't want that to be powdery when we're doing ink blending, or we'll be pushing powder all into the project. So we're going to emboss everything here. Okay, so I've got my Wagner heat tool, and I'm just giving it a second to heat up. And then here we go. So I'm starting right in the center. And then I'm just going to work my way out. And this is white embossing powder, but if you don't have white, you can also use clear for this, because wherever there's embossing powder on here, it's going to just be whatever. If you use clear, it's going to be whatever color you stamped it on, and you're stamping on white cardstock, so you'll get the same exact effect. But I don't have my clear in a big bin like that. I only have my white in a big bin. I guess I use that so much. Okay. This makes it very easy to hold as well when it's attached to a piece of paper like this. And you see I'm like doing all around the outside too, anywhere that there might be a little bit of dust, because I just don't want my blending brushes to run over that. Okay, that looks pretty good. Oh my gosh, look at Julie's comment. I guess his employment wasn't meant to be. You see that one? Okay, so now we're going to do a little bit of ink blending. I'm going to get these stamps out of the way.
Hey, a few questions. Is there going to be a year-end sale?
Yes, there is going to be a year-end sale. We've got over 100 stamp sets that are retiring, and we are going to put them all on sale, and we're going to bundle them up with their dies if they have dies, and it's going to be while supplies last. So that's probably going to come this weekend, so stay tuned. Okay, so I've got colors here. I've got Turquoise Sea, I've got some light lilac, and I've got some powder blue. I'm going to see how these all go together. We're going to, I like these colors together because it doesn't matter if any of them touch any of the other colors. Nothing's going to turn to brown. So I will start with the light lilac, and I'm going to use my ink stand for this. And I've got my brush here, my lilac brush. I do have a separate brush for each of the lilacs. Not each of the lilacs, for the lilacs. You know, we've got 4 color collections right now that have the light, medium, and dark, and I do have a blending brush for each of those collections. So I'm going to start here in the center and get a little bit of that light lilac on here.
So Sue is asking, when they're taped down like that, does that keep the cardstock from warping too?
You know, not a little bit, a tiny bit. Not as much as I would like. I try to, you know, use a little preheating first to get it nice and hot, but it does help a little bit. Okay.
And do you know if the Sizzix Big Dies work in your die cutting machine?
They sure do. Yep, there's a special adapter plate that comes in the die cutting machine for those thick dies like that. Okay, so I've got some light lilac on here. I'm going to mix in a little bit of Turquoise Sea. These feel very wintry to me, these colors. I feel like I'm not really blending in any particular, like, make sense kind of way, but I feel like it's going to work. I don't know why. I feel like it's going to work. Okay. Let me do a little bit over here just to get a little in there. Now let's add a little powder blue. I'm going to test this on a little piece of white here that I have. I just want to make sure that there's not like in the navy on here. In fact, I know there is either navy or blue denim on there, so I want to rub some of that off. because I think it's just gonna, see, that's gonna be too dark. I remember using that color as my last color with this brush. So let's take a little powder blue and let's see if we can get this brush a little more powdery blue looking. Yeah, that's going to be nicer. Okay, so a little light blend of powder blue in here. I think these are going to look really pretty together. What do you guys think? I don't want to take too much of the purple away, but I think the powder blue, I'll go back over it a little bit with some purple. The nice thing is when you've got colors that blend really nicely together like this, you can go back and blend over areas again, and it doesn't matter. You don't ever have to worry about them like not looking good. So we'll add a little more purple in here, a little more in there. Okay, I think that looks good. Those three colors look nice. Now I am going to get this same piece of paper towel and I'm going to wipe over the surface here. So we've got Masking Magic, now we've got heat embossing, and now we're going to break out some of the colored pencils and Gamsol. It's funny, I saw somebody today say, anybody know how to do colored pencils and Gamsol? And then somebody was nice and shared my Gamsol playlist, but I hope that person's watching tonight because it's the perfect relaxing technique to do. Okay, now this we want to be a little bit careful because we did really heat this up. So we want to be a little careful not to tear anything. There we go. Even with all that heating and all that embossing. Go. I just love the nice border. Isn't that pretty?
So Beverly said she's having trouble doing partial die cutting with the intercut. Any tips, perhaps a demo sometime? You have some videos out with that, don't you?
Well, I do with the old die cutting machine, but not with the new one because I haven't done that in a while. But yeah, I could put that on the list of things to do in the future for sure. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to use a couple of colors here. I've got, let's see, I need a white piece of cardstock. Where are my little pieces that I cut out earlier? Maybe I don't have one, so let me trim one here. I like to just look at colors before I actually pick what I'm going to use. And I like to look at them when they're blended out. So this one is violet, and this one is called Parma Violet. So I'm going to put those two there. And then I have, what do I have here? I have Cobalt Turquoise. It's a deeper turquoise. And then I have a lighter one here, which is Parrot Green. I still feel like that's like an aqua color. And then for the blue, I have Peacock Blue. And I have True Blue. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a blending stump. I found one that had some turquoise on it before. And then I have my little dish here and I have some Gamsol. So this is what Gamsol looks like if you don't know what it is. If you don't have Gamsol in the country where you are, or you can't find it here in the US, it is an odorless mineral spirits, but it is an artist grade. So you don't want to use something from Home Depot because that's really not safe. This is an artist grade odorless mineral spirits. And if you can't find this, other products that do something similar are lavender spike oil, which looks like this. Also a product called Zest It, which I know is available in Europe. The UK has it. And then you can go, I think there's other brands like Mona Lisa has an odorless mineral spirit. So you just need to go to an art supply store and ask them for some kind of product that will blend out colored pencils. And then I'm going to start right here on the waxy pencil, and then I'm going to blend this out and see what color it gets when it turns light. I like that one. That's nice. Now I have another blending stump here, and I'm going to try the lighter one and see what this looks like. Well, I like that color too, but I don't think it's going to show up as well. So I think I'm going to go with this darker one for this one. Now for the purples, I'm going to start with the lighter purple because I only have one blending stump that had purple on it. So if I start with the lighter one, I don't think I'm going to damage the blending stump as far as like mess up the color decision. So that's the Parma Violet. Now I'm going to go with the straight violet. Yes, Dick Blick Art Supply does have Gamsol. I was just there with my daughter the other day. We were just shopping for another crafty thing that we like to do together, which is clay. She and I are working on some mosaics. Okay, so I'm going to try this one now. Same thing. I'm going to start here at the bottom with this one. This is the True Blue. And then I'm going to try that Peacock Blue. So you could take a look at these and what they look like and how they blend out. You can even color swatch your colored pencils by doing this to see what colors they blend out to. And that could be helpful when you're doing something like this, because you might look at this and say, you know, if I look at this color here, I mean, it's lighter than the turquoise in this snowflake. It's still lighter than that, so it's not going to show up as well as maybe this one will. So I think I'll go with this one. It's just a way to help you. All right, so let's go with all the darker versions. I think that's going to give us the best bang for our buck here. So I'm going to start in the center of this.
And these
snowflake.
are Prismacolor pencils you're
These
using?
are all Prismacolor pencils. And you can use any colored pencils you want as long as they're not watercolor. Now, let me rephrase that. You can use watercolor pencils to do this. You just have to use water instead of Gamsol to blend it out. And it does give you a different look, and you do have the potential of warping the paper a little bit or pilling the paper, because we didn't do this on watercolor paper. But if you're doing watercolor, then go ahead and do this whole technique on watercolor paper and use your watercolors. You can also use Copic markers for this if you want. It's not going to hurt the ink that's under there at all. In fact, our ink doesn't really move with Copics, so you can use our ink with Copic markers and it's not going to do anything to it. But I really like the kind of texture that you get from using Gamsol, so that's why I've chosen to do this. So you can see here, I added a little bit of purple there. Tom, you can get rid of that comment.
I can't.
Oh, you can't? Oh, no. Okay. And then I'm going to blend that out so that it gets lighter as it goes toward the edge. So sorry if you see any comments that can't be removed. Every once in a while, I don't know how they do that, but... Okay. You can see I'm just taking that color out, and I'm going to zoom in here just so that you can see the difference between the ones that I've blended a little bit with the Gamsol and the ones that I didn't. I think it's got a really nice look. Let's zoom in a little. Can you see how you've got the depth and it gets lighter as it goes out, but you know, it's got a little bit of rough texture in it that you wouldn't get with Copic markers. So I'm just going to continue to do that. Now, for those of you that are new to Gamsol and colored pencils, this technique is not hard to do at all. If you struggle to try to get any movement, it's probably because you're not starting right over the colored pencil with your blending stump. This is a blending stump. You're not starting right over the color, you're actually starting next to it. You need to be right on top of that color with the Gamsol on the blending stump to actually soften that color and make it move a little bit. Sometimes people will go right next to it thinking that they want to keep that color one color and somehow they're going to blend to a different color. But if you don't move this color, it's not going to blend out. And these blending stumps, we have these on our website now. They're by Creative Mark, and you can pick them up on our website. And we just switched. We were selling the size 2 and 3 in a pack together. We are now just selling all size 2 because people are asking for that. They know that I really prefer size 2. And I figure, you know, why sell a variety pack if I'm not 100% into it? So I'm just doing each down here at the bottom of each of these leaves in the purple. And this is just a fun way and a very relaxing way to jazz up the snowflakes here. You don't have to do this part. You could stop right where we finished up the snowflakes and add your greeting and maybe add some embellishments. But I think this just creates a lot of depth in here. And you can see I don't have much color there. But I have enough color there that it's going to pull that color out a little bit. And give me just what I want. See, I'm just kind of taking my blending stump and just pulling that color down halfway. And it's so soft and it's so pretty. Now remember, sometimes it's harder to see things during a video. I will take high quality photos of these so you can look at this up close. And I think Gamsol just makes you look like an artist. It makes you look like you know what you're doing when it comes to blending. And just this little touch of color just makes such a difference. And this is the time of the year, you know, where a lot of us, especially the northern hemisphere, we're kind of stuck inside. I mean, we're cold. There's not a lot to do. And even if you don't know what to make, these kinds of projects are just really fun to just sit and make the backgrounds, you know. I'm going to put a little dot of purple in each one. Now, I'm not blending much here, but I am going to just kind of, for lack of a better word, liquefy the color a little bit with the Gamsol because it just smooths it out a little bit and kind of fills in all the little cracks. And can you see now how that snowflake is just popping out? So the pencil sharpener that I use is the iPoint Orbit pencil sharpener. I got mine on Amazon, and then my friend Karen Hightower gave me one that you plug in, and that's the one I use at home. This one uses a battery. The one that Karen gave me is a better quality because this part is made of metal in there, and it is more expensive, but this is a good travel one. So if you like to travel with your colored pencils, you just open this up and pop your battery in there, and it's good to go on the road. So whatever works best for you. Okay, so let's go with a little bit of that teal now. I'm going to add a little teal here, like this. And don't worry if you color onto the embossing powder. The Gamsol is just going to move that right off of there, and you're going to be able to just clean it off with your blending stump and the Gamsol. It won't stay. Don't worry about it. Now, Copic markers, you can actually color your embossing powder. So, if you're new at this, you might want to try it with Gamsol first. And I'm going to put a tiny dot right here at the base of each of these.
Question, how long does the Gamsol last? Will a small bottle be enough, or do you need to get a large?
This one here, the 4.2 ounce, I've had forever. I just recently changed it. Maybe I just recently got a new one after a couple of years. But I'm really bad about remembering to put this back into the bottle at night when I leave, and it will evaporate over time. So that's my bad. But this size is plenty. You don't need a big one. You really don't.
And do you have a set time of the day when you send out your mail notifications that an out-of-stock item is now available?
Well, it would normally come to you on a business day. And I don't have a set time because they just, our warehouse team, they count things in when they come in. And then once they get them all counted, then they put them online. So there isn't a particular time.
And you could put used Gamsol back in the bottle, right?
Yes, you can. So I'm just doing the same thing here with this. Kind of like the way this looks.
And you don't have to soak it, right? You just dip the tip in a little bit?
Well, you want to dip the tip in for like a second or two to make sure that you'll be able to see it climbing up the blending stump a little bit. You see that? If you just bloop like that, then it's not going to get wet enough and you're going to get a little discouraged. So I definitely would, give it enough on there. Now here we want to be careful not to go over the edge of where our white border is. So yeah, give it enough so that it climbs up the blending stump a little bit. And then these in here. Just working those out. But not too far, only about halfway up. Because we want to have that shaded look. There we go. And then I'm going to see if I don't have a clean blending stump. I do. Clean enough. I'm going to get my little bit of sandpaper here, and if you don't have sandpaper you can use a nail file, and I'm just going to clean this up so there's no color left on it. And I'm turning it as I go. You see how I just made that all white again? I just buffed off all the color that was on there. I'm going to dip into this Gamsol and I'm just going to clean off the embossed areas here.
And you can use a blending stump more than once, right?
Oh yeah, I've been using these for probably a year. These same ones. Oh, definitely. Yeah, they don't go bad. All right, let's try the blue. Let's try the blue over here. Add some of this blue. This is a very sharp point. And we don't have to do all the parts. You can just do some of the parts. I'm not going to go too much on that. If you really wanted to be careful in those areas, you could take your masking magic off after you've done all your coloring, which I probably should have done. That probably would have been smarter than trying to navigate these borders, but I could go back and put more on. Let's just put a piece right over here, just to be a little bit safer. I'll grab one, and we'll just replace that so we don't worry about going past that spot. All right, so I have a blue blending stump here. Let's see what color this comes out to.
And we don't have any information on the intricate arrival, right?
No,
now.
The intricate is definitely going to be in the spring. That's the latest that I've heard, but I think I know the fuse is already on the water, so we're hoping that comes in the early part of 2024. You never know, though. I did plead my case and beg for expedited, and I haven't heard back yet. So this might make it a little easier. Oh yeah, that's pretty. I like this blue. I know Gamsol videos can be a little bit boring. So I really appreciate you hanging in there to see the finished card. But sometimes it's good to watch, especially if you're a newer crafter and, you know, this is not something that you've done before. Wrong color. Back to this. I'm using the Peacock Blue. Just going to put a little bit in here. Sometimes it's good to just watch the first time, just to kind of get the feel for it. I'm going to put this over here. There we go. And I already have Gamsol on here, so I'm just going to work it halfway up. Just halfway. I love the depth you get from this. And should we try a different color in here? Like maybe add a little bit of the purple right in here? Is this the right purple? We could try. Just the little dots. Let's see what that looks like. Let's try it. What do we have to lose? Nothing. It's only paper. Just a little different color in there. Oh, I like the two-tone. I didn't know that I would. It looks so different the minute you start hitting it with the Gamsol. And then I have this little spot right here that I definitely want to add some purple in. Not that anybody would look at that and go, oh, forget it, you forgot that spot? This card, I don't like it now. But, you know, I know you guys are like me and you see it and you're like, no, I gotta do that one. So can you see how this is coming out now? Isn't that pretty? Just different and fun. Okay, so I feel like this color needs to be down here a little bit. And you could actually, if you wanted, you could be brave and you could do the parts of the snowflake that are turquoise with the dark turquoise, and as it turns into purple, you could move to purple. That would work. The ink that I'm using for this is the Gina K Designs Embossing and Watermark Ink, and then I embossed it with white fine detail embossing powder first. I'm going to try this one a little bit less. Let's see how that goes. And then we're going to find that same blending stump again. Here it is. Sometimes I get them filed to such a nice point. I've been using this one for a long time, and I haven't filed it at all because I love the shape of it. So this is like, I only use this one for turquoise just because it's got that perfect shape that I was hoping for. And see, what's nice is if you use colors that all work together. For example, let's say you wanted to do this with hearts or something for Valentine's Day, and you used red, orange, and pink. That would be a great combination because any two of those colors is going to blend well together. So then if you're going over an area, like I did here, you have teal, but you're going over a purple area, then it's not going to be a problem. It's not going to blend into some sort of brown. Okay. Almost done this coloring here. And we'll do the little dots in here. I love how quaint this looks. So Tom.
Yes. Yes, yes.
I know you've already talked about Uncle Mel.
It feels like enough, doesn't it?
It kind of does, but But while I'm coloring this last one, I might do a tiny little bit in these, just a tiny touch. Might you have a word of the day?
Okay, so with all the holiday cheer, boy, we had good food, didn't we?
Yes, tell them what I made.
Gina went above and beyond. As you know, she really does it up for the holidays especially, and we did Italian. She did Italian.
I did Italian.
And,
I am Italian.
It was sensational. We just had wonderful, and so many of the family pitched in with supplies, and we did like cookies.
Oh, the cookies were fun.
Made a ton of cookies for hours at the table. It was I couldn't keep up. I bailed out and watched the football game, but. So much food, and I think the word of the day describes what it's like on like Christmas Day. It's a wonderful holiday, but it's a bit, let's say, thin convenient. Thin consistent, maybe. Thin convenient, the word of the day. Great food.
Hey, it's the time of year that everybody just, don't worry, just have some fun. That's a great word. Thin convenient. Okay. I'm going to do these parts in purple again because I liked the way that worked, the little dots of purple in here. And then I'm going to just do a couple tiny spots on the little ones. And then we'll get this mounted and we will work on our greeting. Okay. There we go. Well, I'm glad some of you find this relaxing. I know these coloring videos aren't for everyone, but I actually enjoy watching people color. Let's do for these two, maybe just a little bit of teal in here. And we're not going to do a lot. We're just going to do a tiny bit just to colorize it a little bit right there. So it's not, you know, it doesn't have any depth. We need a little bit of depth for this part. I think that looks good. And then we'll do the same thing over here. We'll just add a little teal in here. And I am gonna move this one over to here because I can feel it already. I'm not gonna make it. Now sometimes I'll just see like what's left on the blending stump if I need to add a little color into a really tiny spot. Like right here, a little bit left on the blending stump, that works. There we go. All right, so I think we've protected everything and it's looking pretty good. Isn't that just soft and lovely? I know that could have been more centered, but I think we'll offset the greeting and it won't matter so much. And remember, it only has to be better than horrible. It doesn't have to be perfect. Now I'm going to mount this panel onto the black panel that I have over here so that I add a little bit of black into this piece. Let's see. Trespasser. Oh my goodness.
That's pretty good.
That's very good. Has that happened to you?
Very good.
Oh my gosh. That is funny. I mean, we're living in a time now where used to be when people would stop by, you know, you'd be like, come on in. Now you just drop to the floor and shut the lights out. Did they see us move? Okay, I'm gonna put this onto a white card base because I think with all this beautiful color, a white card base is gonna be the ticket. Let me get some white here, and I'm gonna cut this one 4 1/4 by 11. And I need to find my score buddy. Okay. I actually thought about doing a cooking video yesterday when I was making my Italian sauce. Then I thought, who's going to watch a cooking video on Christmas? And they're all making their own stuff. I don't want to make my stuff. I could have posted it a different day, but it was fun. The kids were around. I didn't want to do. Does Mel have an uncle? Oh my God. We're really taking that out, Tom. You started something here. Okay, so we have that on the white card base. Now we're going to get one more piece of white cardstock, and we're gonna pick a greeting. So I'm wondering, would this be a nice birthday card, or would this just be a nice card to send, like sending you a warm winter hugs? That's like just such a nice friendship card. And honestly, I am better at sending friendship cards than I am at sending birthday cards. I need to get better at the birthday cards. Now let's do a warm birthday wishes. I'm going to be good this year. I'm going to try. I don't know what it is, but sometimes I'm really good and sometimes I'm not very good at sending cards. I'll make the cards, but then, you know, sending cards and making cards are two different things. Just like buying stamp supplies and actually making cards with them are two different hobbies as well. So let's go ahead and do this in a couple of coats. My birthday is February 8th. I'm a February girl. But you know, let me tell you something. Tom and I are the same age, but not really, because he is 2 months younger than me. But I was 2 months premature, so I consider us to be the same age. I mean, gestationally, we're the same age. So I should have been born in April. But I wasn't. I needed to get out. I'm not a very patient person.
She likes to just leave me holding the bag. That's the theme. Just tipping out the door. Where did she go?
Where did she go? I know she was here somewhere. I'm like, I gotta get out of here. April is overrated. Yeah, I mean, February, there's not a lot of... February seems weird, like, not as many people born in February. It's Aquarius. I'm going to just trim this down so it's not so in the way. Okay. Now I'm going to... I always store... I'll just show you guys. I store my dies on the back of my stamp set in the stamp pocket. I like to do that. I gotta find the... Which one is this? Do I not have this? Do I have the wrong die set in here? I don't think so. That's not it. This feels like I have the wrong die set. I don't think I do. I think this is it. Here we go. Just didn't look right. But it's right. So I'm gonna do this one. Let me get a little bit of... I'm gonna use the Masking Magic again. I'm gonna use the 1/2" strips because I really like how it doesn't tear anything. Do we have a lot of April babies? A lot of April friends. My mom was an April baby too. Okay. I'm going to put that in place and put the platform on top and cut. As long as you're always cutting into that cutting mat, it doesn't matter if the platform is on top or on the bottom. As long as that blade is always going into this mat. Okay. Here we go. So let's finish this up, and maybe we'll add a few little sequins in here to bedazzle it a bit. Get this out of the way. And I feel like we're really far away. Let's get together, get closer. So I feel like that would look nice right there. Should we pop up the greeting? We could. Let's see if I have any bitty baby squares. I do. And I have a tweezer somewhere. Here we go, a tweezer. So let's add some small foam squares on this. We don't need a ton. So I have no New Year's resolutions. This way I cannot fail. This is going to be a great year because I am not going to fail. No resolutions. I'm not doing that anymore. Now I'm just doing like tiny goals. Like this month, I think I'm going to try to clean out a closet. Or this month, I'm going to clean up my social media so I'm only seeing things that bring me joy. That kind of stuff. And I think those are, I'll put one more here so it doesn't sink in. I think those are more commendable and, not commendable, but they're more attainable. That's the word I'm looking for. They're more attainable. It doesn't put undue stress on yourself. And, you know, if it doesn't get done, like if I don't clean out that closet, it's just one closet. It's not like, oh, I had this goal this year to like, you know, eat right all year, and I don't know. I'm getting too old for resolutions. Okay, so yes, it's realistic. We're trying to be more realistic. So let's put this right about there. There we go. And then I might do a few sequins in here, not on the snowflakes. I think that might be too complicated, but I have some open spaces here that look like they could use a little something, maybe a little disco ball in the mix, maybe some micro disco ball. And you know, I did a bad thing. I mixed my micro disco ball and my regular disco ball sequins together. It's not a bad thing. It's just very hard for me to tell you which one I am using. So I apologize for that, but sequins are not a very expensive purchase. So if you're ever shopping and you need one tiny thing to get you to the free incentive set, grab whichever disco ball sequins you don't have and get the other one because they're all so useful. So I'll put one here and I'll put one here because that needs something. I'm just filling in a few of the empty spaces. With some sequinage. Okay, I will start with, I'm going to do this bigger one here. And then I'm going to do some littler ones. There's also pearls in here, so just ignore the whole mess.
Sequinicity.
Sequinicity. Oh, that sounds very right. And fancy. Maybe fancier than this card.
That was the word of the minute.
that's my pump, my diabetic pump, telling me that it's time to change it. So just ignore all the sound effects. That's one I can't turn off, and I never know when it's going to go off, because it's kind of, I mean, I should know when it's going to go off, but I forget about it. Oh, I like that. Should we do any more? Or does that seems good. It seems like it's just kind of floating around the whole greeting and everything. Okay, so can you see the sparkle in there? Is that showing up? I think so.
Sure is.
That looks good. All right, so there's my finished card. We made a winter birthday card. We're kind of getting out of the holiday stuff now and into the winter. Soon we'll be making some Valentine's Day things, or Galentine's Day, you know, because I like to do Valentine's for my girlfriends too. And then, you know, we're going to be heading into spring soon. Very exciting. Now, I know a few of you have asked when we are going to be having our next release, and that is on the calendar for January 16th, which is a Tuesday night. We have some really fun things coming, and we can't wait for you to see those. So, if you haven't made a comment yet, now is the time to drop a comment, because we are going to be giving away a $15 gift certificate to Gina K Designs. I used to give away my cards, and I started giving away gift certificates in December, and we're going to keep it up through the month of December, and we may even go a little bit longer than that. We'll see. It's very fun, and it's nice. You can redeem it whenever, so if you're thinking about the next release, it doesn't work like a coupon. It works like cash, so it's really nice. Okay, Tom, so would you like to pick a winner for our tonight's $15 gift card?
Let's get a winner. Drum roll, please. Here we go. We have a gift certificate for Robin Plummer. Robin
Hey,
Plummer.
Robin, congratulations. All right, Robin, all you have to do is send your name and address and the email address you want that gift card emailed to, because it's a digital gift card, to info@ginakdesigns.com, and we'll get that out for you. Well, Merry Christmas, everyone. We are so grateful to have you with us tonight, and we hope that you enjoyed this card and these techniques, and you'll put these all together and give this card a try. Use whatever stamps or, you know, stamps that you have and kind of create your own look, and I can't wait to see what you do with this technique. All right, everybody. Well, Tom and I will be back on Thursday with another Stamp and Chat Live Crafternoon edition, and then I guess we'll be back again the following Tuesday. It's a crazy weekend again with New Year's to try to get a 5-minute card up, but I will be sharing a short on YouTube, so make sure you check that out. Until Thursday, everybody, stay safe and healthy. Thank you so much for joining us. We love you all so very much, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.